Hello, welcome to Elevating Your Life. Thank you for joining us today. I have a great guest to share with you today. We have with us Jenny Garufi. She's Jenny's spiritual journey began with a healing experience that healed 7 years of illness in just 3 weeks, sparking her life's purpose. In the last 20 years, she has dedicated to gathering and creating tools to help others. She is an internationally acclaimed author, speaker, teacher, and healer. Jenny empowers individuals with accessible tools, fostering self-love and self-worth, while overcoming obstacles to attract aligned relationships and life circumstances. Her latest book, which is the first in a series, is Mindfulness Exercises in the Shower. It's a great book, and it offers 21 days of fast and easy exercises and practical ways to begin your mindfulness practice. And what a fun idea and just a fun topic. I love it, in the shower. So first off, welcome, Jenny.
Thanks so much, Paula. It's always such a pleasure to speak with you.
Oh, I've been a big fan for so many years.
Thank you. Me of you too.
Well, let's start off. Do you want to share any more background? And do you want to, I'd love to know what kind of triggered you to write a series about exercises in the shower. What a fun idea.
Yeah, well, I love the shower as my mindfulness time. And it's interesting. So, when I began this journey, I had started telling people that there are three most powerful times to set intentions to do some of this work, gratitude, right when you wake up, right when you fall asleep. And I always threw in the shower because that was always a powerful time for me. I know that when I was ill, it was more about like feeling almost achy in the shower, dreading my day. But like as I healed, it really shifted to really like, this is going to be a good day. And I'm grateful for the hot water and really started getting ideas during that time. So it made sense to me. I've collected different exercises and created my own over the last 20 years on my journey. And after my mom passed, I started studying shamanism. So even delve deeper into the elements and realize even even more how water was such a healing element. So it just kind of made sense to throw them together. It's time that everyone has. Most people, that's their number one excuse for not starting like a mindfulness or meditation practice. I don't have the time for that. Well, if you have a shower time, then you have those 1 to 3 minutes to tune in and just set that intention and start the day. Start the day with gratitude. Start the day with one of the tools that I provide.
Oh, I love it. And that's true. That is time we have. And really, as we're there with the water coming, showering us, we are free from everything else. We're kind of disconnected for a few minutes. So, what a great idea to put these practices forth then.
Thank you. Yeah, and I even busy moms will usually get a little bit of break in the shower. I was thinking that too. Like, just take that as your oasis time and your spa time instead of we always have the mind going with the to-do list or the things we're dreading or beating ourselves up about something, but we can claim that time back and use the powerful element of water to kind of wash the worries down the drain. Have fun, play, play in the water, really bring yourself to the present moment and use some of these tools to just brighten your day a little bit and bring some joy into it.
And I did love in the book you mentioning that, let the water wash the stress and the pain down the drain. That's a beautiful analogy. I love it.
Yeah, and we're so powerful. Our minds are so powerful. Usually we are thinking of the negative, unfortunately. We're kind of surrounded by that. We're always taking in information or hearing troubles either in the world or through people in our lives. But really, that is time where we could claim as sacred time where no one else can get in and we can really tune into ourselves and yeah, make that time our spa time, our oasis time. And when we start to do that in the shower, we can realize, oh, that only took like a minute. I can do that during the day if I get stressed out. I can use that breathing exercise or that gratitude exercise. So it carries through. It can begin in the shower, but my hope is the exercises are so easy that a lot of them can carry through to the rest of the day.
So for example, the gratitude exercise, what do
Yes.
you recommend in the book? How do you play that?
Yeah, there are a few. I have the whole first chapter is on gratitude because I feel like gratitude was the most important quality that I had to use to heal myself of chronic illness. And again, so many times we're focused on the negative. So really, you could take that time and be grateful for a quality in yourself. We know we beat ourselves up enough. Why not, why not bring in a quality that we're grateful for? Why not bring in a happy memory instead of replaying some kind of traumatic or sad memory? Why not bring in something happy? Why not bring in a person, or a pet, the memory of that person or, the idea of that person and that gratitude? It really does shift. It shifts our energy because we're focusing on not just love, but appreciation at the same time. And it just elevates us so quickly. And like I said, we have no problem going down the rabbit hole with the negative things, but taking that time to just take a few moments and be grateful, it really does switch our energy up and can change our mood pretty quickly.
And oh my gosh, something as simple as just a beautiful memory,
Yeah.
and thinking about that for a few minutes. That that can really change us and set a tone for the day, can't it?
Yeah, it's so funny that that feels indulgent, like we have no problem repeating a sad memory over and over again. It's just we're not taught, we're not almost given that permission. It feels almost like we have to give ourselves permission to relive that beautiful moment again and again. And the more you can get into it, the more you can bring back those senses. How did it feel? What are the different emotions you felt? Who were the people around? What were the scents? And just incorporating all those senses, the more you're like viscerally, you know, bringing yourself back to that moment, and it just elevates everything. You can leave that moment with a smile instead of maybe feeling like you're getting out of the shower dreading the day, or you have your to-do list. And you can do gratitude exercises whenever coworkers getting on your nerves, go into a bathroom stall and do some gratitude, switch up the energy. Like there are always those little windows of time that we can take. And I think starting in the shower is a great place to start. And then hopefully you incorporate it through the rest of your day.
Yeah. And that's a gift we give ourselves.
Yeah.
What we think about and process while we're in the shower. And I love that you chatted a little bit about you discussed head and shoulders. Talk
Yeah.
about that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our head, our brain, it controls so many functions for us. We don't pay attention to our body unless it hurts, usually. We're not giving gratitude for our body for the number of systems it runs daily without us being like, okay, body on, okay, breathing, start now. So the head and the shoulders are usually scrunched up. I mean, I know even when I start paying attention to my shoulders during the day, to like be able to breathe and relax them. It just feels like you're letting some of the weight of the world off of your shoulders, and to allow the water to hit those spots. It's just more like that spa-like experience, like, that feels really nice, and when we
Oh,
get our hair cut and get our hair washed, usually that's such a beautiful experience. You're like, that feels so nice. So why not give that to yourself in the morning, or whenever you do shower, and really appreciate and thank the water for for touching your head, for thank your brain for all the thoughts you're able to think during the day and all the functions it runs. Like, be able to really be grateful and tune in as we're letting the water really relax us, take us to a state of deeper relaxation.
oh, I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh. And so the exercises, they're fantastic in the shower, and they're also ones we can do outside the shower as well, aren't they?
Yeah, most of them, there are a couple that I have that use the shower to do this, but even we know the power of our thoughts. Even if we're just bringing in our thoughts and imagining that, that is really helpful. We can wash our hands, put our hands under the water and feel that. Or if we don't have water around, we can do the gratitude exercises whenever. We can set intentions whenever. The water adds that deeper sense of healing sometimes because it's that healing element. But we can do these exercises. 90% of the exercises in my book, you can do at any time.
And just water itself, as you said, is something to be grateful for. I've gone on mission trips in other countries, and not everyone has that gift of water that we have.
Yeah, it is. And our body is mostly made up of water. Dr. Emoto's work, where he studied the imprints of our thoughts on water makes so much sense. And if we're telling our body we're healthier, we're grateful, it just makes sense that we're going to make healthier cells. We're so much of our body is water. And I really do feel like that's why I healed myself, is repeating those positive messages to myself instead of focusing on all the pain and focusing on the things I wasn't feeling I was able to do or was insulting myself about not being able to do. Really switching that script to that gratitude for what I was able to do and for the qualities that I did have. It just allowed my body to heal at a pretty rapid rate.
Yeah. And so would you say that that amazing, wonderful healing that you've experienced, a lot of it was your mindfulness and bringing these things in?
Absolutely. It was exactly mindfulness. It was changing my mind, changed my energy, which allowed my body to change. Where our body's always creating cells. And if we're focused, and pain is attention getting. I am not saying it is not. I was in chronic pain for most of 7 years. It will get your attention. And it is a challenge, especially in the beginning, to really switch your mind off from it, even for a few seconds, to be like, okay, I'm going to focus on my hand, which doesn't hurt, instead of my legs, which are in, really dramatic pain right now. It does take your focused attention, but it takes also just that, like, okay, if there's healthy cells in my fingers, I know there's healthy cells in my body. And you can really create almost like an excitement around it too, instead of really sinking into the pain, which I know it is distracting
Mhm.
to take your mind away from it, but you're telling your body you're recognizing you're more than the pain when you're able to do that. And maybe there are parts of your body that don't hurt at that time where you can focus your energy on. Maybe it's like your cheeks. Oh, my cheeks don't hurt right now. Like whatever part of your body you can grab
Oh,
onto
yeah.
and be like, oh, wow, this part of my body does work well. I'm grateful for that. And even the gratitude, so many times, Paula, like when something hurts, I know when my legs hurt, I was a dancer for years, so I was really hard on my legs. I was like, why my legs? Like I love dancing. Why would my legs do this to me? So even like can you focus on the pain and send your body love because it's telling you it's out of balance.
Yeah.
So instead of like if a pet was hurting, if a loved one was hurting, we wouldn't beat them up more. We would, surround them with love and give them a hug. So even that attention, like, can you be grateful for the times that that part of the body did show up for you? Can you send love to that part of your body and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. You're in pain right now. I love you. What can I do to help you? And really tune in and have that conversation with your body and listen instead of just reacting.
And it has been scientifically proven how powerful our mindset and our thoughts are with our DNA and our healing and what we can get from that. I mean, it is just, it's a fact. It's true. It's amazing.
It is. I love Dr. Lipton's. Bruce Lipton is amazing with that, with his work on, DNA and changing our DNA with our thoughts.
Mm,
And I do feel like, I mean, I was told I would not get better. I was told I'd be in a wheelchair. And if I had really believed those thoughts, that's where I would be right now.
yeah, that is so true. Wow, that's a great example. And myself, I've experienced horrific pain due to some neck surgeries, a car accident. And I remember one time before my second surgery, I was in so much pain. And it's like once some of that pain got relieved and it was, but it's like, oh, you know, it's a whole new
It
world,
is a whole
you
new
know,
world.
getting some relief from that pain, or it can be relief from an illness. It
Yeah,
changes your perceptions. And then you have just such a huge amount of gratitude for just feeling okay,
you really
and getting
do.
relief. It really does, I believe, prompt gratitude and new perceptions.
It really does. And I was hesitant for so long to take any medication, any prescription medication, because I've always had fear of addiction. I grew up in New York City. I saw my share of addiction around me. And eventually I gave in to taking like a quarter of the dosage and taking a walk with a girlfriend and it relieving that pain even for a little while and me getting out in nature and being able to do that, do show up for myself in ways that I wasn't. I do feel like that reminded me, oh, your life can be pain free. So many times people do curse medications. And I'm not saying to never take medication. Sometimes it can aid in your healing too. But
Mm.
really to be aware of what your body is saying too, like I needed to be able to be off the pain medication to be like, am I still in pain or not? Like to
Mm.
really temper it with, tuning into your body and asking what it needs and how you can show up for it. I feel like during that time, those walks with my, new friend in nature, like those that aided in my healing and remembering even who I was. Because for so long, when you're ill, you kind of become your illness in a lot of ways and you can kind of lose sense of who you are.
Yes, yes. So would you say doing these exercises and just doing that, a few minutes a day, these practices, can really be a positive and wonderful effect on our lives?
I really do feel that. Yeah. Mindfulness is key, especially these days when we're inundated with so much information. I do feel like, I mean, these books, the book series is really aimed at getting people to tune in more to themselves and their intuition too, because as we move forward with AI, as we move forward with, this technology, we don't even know really what's truth now, never mind like 6 months or a year from now, being able to tune into ourselves and ask ourselves, like, and be familiar with that. So to start a mindfulness practice is really starting that dialogue, that inner dialogue, and tuning into your intuition, being like, oh, this is truth. I feel this in my
Yeah,
body. This is truth. So I think it's really important moving forward that we all are able to embrace techniques like this and our mindfulness to really even know, what our reality is and what truth is for us.
yeah, listen and connect to what our inside is saying, what our body is saying. I mean, that's a powerful and number one thing, isn't it?
It really is. And again, there's just so many distractions. We're kind of feel like we're kind of given so many opportunities not to do that, between, our phones setting off alarms that this
Mhm.
news story or, getting on social media. There's so many things that distract us from that. So it really is us taking that time. Hopefully you're not like on your phone in the shower and you get to do that. Hopefully you do take these moments during the day where you can tune in and really just tune everything else out for a little
Yeah,
while.
yeah, just self-love.
Self-love, absolutely.
That's a huge benefit to us. It really is. And, these exercises, these practices, and it can be something, okay, I'm going to do this in the shower. I'm going to do this before I go to sleep at night. We can create our own little pattern, of what we want to
Yeah.
do and the steps we want to take.
Yeah. And it's important to be gentle with ourselves on the journey too, because a lot of times we might forget one time in the shower or we might forget before bed, and it's okay. Like, what is your voice to yourself in that moment too? Are you beating yourself up, thinking, oh, that's something I didn't do again? That's another thing, or are you like, okay, well, you know what? I noticed yesterday I felt better when I did it. So tomorrow I'm going to really make an effort to do it. Can you be okay with being human? Because we do forget, I roll my eyes at myself a lot. I'm like, really, Jen, again, but it's okay if we can kind of laugh at ourselves in a humorous
Yep.
way, not in a mean way. but
Yeah.
just be like, okay, it's all right. I'm human, and move on to how can I show up for myself? I mean, that's really the number one question I'd like people to ask is how can I show up for myself today? Because when we show up for ourselves, we are better able to help other people too.
Yes, yes. And please share what series book number two is going to be about. And I believe that's going to be coming out spring 2025.
It
Give us an
will
idea of what we
be.
can look forward to with that, Jenny.
So that's going to be, I feel like book one was more about putting the mind in mindfulness and book two will be more about the body. So there will be breathing exercises. There are going to be exercises to tap into the senses, and there's going to be exercises to take you through the chakras. And I am like so thrilled. I've Cindy Dale, who I consider like the queen of chakras, wrote my foreword for that as well. So really excited to birth that.
Yeah. Tell, well, give us a little hint about, working with our chakras. What will that be like?
Oh, I love the chakras.
Oh,
So talking about like our inner, talking to our body, I mean, I consider our chakras our inner diagnostic system. So in the book, I only address the seven main chakras, but each one really corresponds to different emotions, different mental things in our life. To give you an example, the root chakra at the base of our spine is red. And that's really, if that's out of balance, and a lot of people have that out of balance, it can be messages from our parents that we're still carrying around with us. It can be, do we feel safe walking on the planet? And if that's out of balance, we can have trouble with our legs and with our feet. And they all correspond to different parts of our body. And
yes.
when we learn about them, we can really tune in and be like, oh, my throat hurts. Am I not speaking my truth to someone? My throat chakra's off. We can tune in and it gives us another tool to really self-diagnose, and say, okay, is there a psychological aspect that needs to be brought into balance so I can begin to do some healing work on this too?
Yeah, yeah. It's fascinating, learning about the chakras and, you know, something that we want them all in balance,
Yes.
you know, each one in balance. I'm also shaman trained. My shaman name is Shantara. But
Oh,
anyway,
beautiful.
thank you. Learning about the chakras and not just focusing on a certain one, but focusing on them all, working in balance. But it's amazing how each one of those chakras, Jenny, is particular, what it does for us,
Yeah.
what it aligns for us. Our bodies, our minds are just so fascinating, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Endless learning. Endless learning.
Yes.
And yeah, I get so excited by it, and our bodies do, I mean, they're a reflection of so much around us, our what we are taking in on all levels, what we've taken in relationships before, what we've taken in, in our physical world and our environment with food, with exercise. But there's so many ways that like emotions can get trapped. Past experiences can trap energy, and learning about the chakras really is like a freedom. I feel like you can release so much to bring yourself into balance and recognize, you know what, that might have been what I felt before, but I don't even really believe that. I've been telling that to myself because maybe a parent or maybe someone I was in a relationship with told that to me, but I can choose not to believe that and release that from my energy body and free that part of me. And yeah, for me, that's so exciting. And there's layers and layers, Paul. I've been doing this for
Oh,
20 years and there's more layers coming up of deeper healing, but that it's beautiful too, because each release is a new sense of freedom and a new sense of knowing ourselves deeper, like really connecting to that soul part of ourselves instead of being and reacting from who we might have been repeating that we were or our past traumas and our stories.
oh, that is so amazing. So amazing. Oh, well, before we go, please share any information like website or anything you want to share, and maybe a last message you want to give to everyone today.
Sure. People can find me on my website, Jenny Garufi, JennyGarufi.com. I actually have a free class there for 2 weeks of how to maintain inner peace. You can go on Amazon and look look me up under Jenny Garufi as well. And yeah, I just want to let people know that life can be challenged, can feel challenging these days, but there are so many tools we can use to make ourselves feel more empowered, to really shine that self-love on ourselves, and to make our lives easier for ourselves. And that is a ripple effect. When we take care of ourselves, it does ripple out to, if a family member comes home in a bad mood, you feel it, so same is true with you. If you're really nurturing yourself, if you're really filling yourself with joy, with mindful talk, self talk, that will ripple out. And really, it begins with you and just giving yourself that permission to experience that joy.
Yes, yes. And isn't it wonderful that we can, you know, use the exercises, use the mindset, and make such a difference in our lives. And that ripple effect we have on others too.
Yeah,
So when we do that and just heal and become more positive ourselves and move forward and more mindfulness and health, our attitude is going to ripple effect to others around us. And that's a wonderful thing.
it is beautiful. We need more love in the world. And it really does begin with each and every one of us just taking that time to experience more joy and love in the way that we talk to ourselves.
Yes, yes. And talking to ourselves is step one, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. Hearing ourselves is step one. Maybe adjusting the self-talk.
Oh my goodness. Well, one more quick question. In your book, what did you have a favorite exercise? Which one is your favorite?
I think all the gratitudes are my favorite, but I love the one of the ones I give my clients first is gratitude for self, because again, we beat ourselves up so much about something we might have said or something we did in the past. So really focusing, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to focus on things we love about ourselves because we're not trained to do it. But in doing that, we're really becoming we're choosing to be a cheerleader instead of our biggest critic. And I know for me, recovering perfectionist, recovering people pleaser, that's major to be able to give myself credit and be like, oh, you are, you did. And even it's little things like the busy moms that make their kids lunch, they don't give themselves credit for that, taking a class, calling a friend you feel is in need, like caring about people, caring about your pet, all of those things deserve to be celebrated.
Yep, and it makes a big shift. Oh, Jenny, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so grateful.
Oh, I'm so grateful, Paula. I just love you and your energy, and really grateful to be
Love
here with
you.
you.
Love, hugs, and blessings. Everybody out there, love, hugs, and blessings. Thank you.